on, you guys? It's your boy Alex West Collects here, bringing you another figure review. And today I'm super excited to bring you the newest WWE Mattel Ultimate Edition Legends Series nWo Macho Man Randy Savage. This is a Target exclusive. They are starting to hit stores now. The pre-order has been up for a while on Target.com. When those are shipping out, who the hell knows? Unfortunately, I did not find this in stores. I want to give a huge shout out first and foremost to my buddy All About Figures, Brandon. Huge shout out to him. Thank you so much for tracking this down. He found this in his local store in Arizona, was able to hook me up and send it to me for cost plus shipping. Thank you so much. Give Brandon a follow at All About Figures on Instagram. He is a great person of support in the community, helps a lot of people out. Also check him out on his Facebook page. He runs a Facebook group there, also at All About Figures. Great dude. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. I was really excited for this one, and, you know, I was getting a little envious. All these guys were finding them in stores. And out here on the East Coast, we've been dry. I've been trying to track this on Pop Finder, on Brickseek. No luck. Nobody has it in the New York greater area. But here's a tip. If you guys are searching them, use Pop Finder. You can use the DPCI code. That's 087168105. Type that in there, or give it to your local Target associate, and they should be able to track and let you guys know if they have it in the back, if they have more incoming on the way. I've been calling and hounding my local stores. Nobody has them. No one has any date in sight. So I am very grateful to have them in hand today, and so excited to get them out of the box. And I'm a huge nWo mark. WCW really was my wheelhouse. That's what I grew up watching. You know, I got into wrestling watching WWF in the early 90s and the late 80s. I kind of tailed off, and WCW is really what brought me back to wrestling. I've been here since. So the nWo, you know, my favorite faction of all time. So it's always great to add new members. And this is one I've been clamoring for ever since the Ultimate Edition line was kind of announced. After Hollywood, I was like, man, we need an nWo Macho Man to go with it, because we haven't had really an nWo Macho Man since that ringside exclusive. Obviously, there was a Wolfpack version and the black and white. There was one very similar, had the Madness shirt. It was a molded shirt. Looked great. One of my holy grails I've had in my collection for the longest. But, you know, we did get the an Ultimate Edition in Series, what is it, 6 or 8? Series 8 Macho Man from the Ultimate Edition, which is more of a throwback to his Hasbro look. But this is the one I wanted, and it's finally here. But anyways, looking at the figure in the box, you can see all the accessories he comes with. You get the interchangeable heads, the bandana, the glasses, the open hands, which I really dig. And honestly, I dig the skin with the tongue out. I know a lot of people are saying that's not accurate, man. That looks badass to me. You get the weight belt, which has a buckle. Mattel, why does this have a buckle and Hollywood does not? I'm not even going to get into it, but I did want to drop that tidbit in there. You also do get 2 shirts. Unfortunately, I'm hearing that the shirt is staining the figure a little bit, so I'm a little nervous to get him out of the box for that reason. But you know what? Honestly, I'm going to have him displayed with one of these shirts either way. I definitely want multiples to display in different alternate gears. Obviously, you got him in the prison cell behind the cage. The classic, iconic Madness shirt looks great. It says nWo logo. But looking at the figure in the box, this is very similar to what we've seen with the Ultimate Edition Batista. It's got the inverted colors from the main line Ultimate Edition figure. You got the red on the outside with little tidbits of white. Got the Ultimate Edition logo on the front. Macho Man Randy Savage. Ultimate Edition on top, Randy Savage. On the side, you get this awesome throwback image of the WCW Macho Man. This is a Legends figure, so remember, these are Ultimate Edition Legend Series exclusives to Target. On the other side, you have the nameplate. On the back, probably my favorite, you have the figure photography. You get the image of Macho Man plus the read-up here on the sides. Let's come back and we'll look at the little Easter eggs on the inside of the box. So for you guys new to the Ultimate Edition line, on the top and bottom of the boxes, there's always a little something specific to each character. So for Macho Man, you got, ooh, yeah, and on the bottom, you got Too Sweet. And here we have the Macho Madness out of the packaging. Ooh, yeah, dig it. And as far as the accessories go, so he does come a little light on the hands from what we're used to with the Ultimate Edition. He does come with these open gesturing hands, which we did get with a prior Ultimate Edition figure as well. But I will say I do like that they added some like sculpted detail to the tops of the hands where they look more like a glove mold instead of a hand that just had black paint on it. So a little added detail, you can see that. I do like that as well. But you do get a bunch of interchangeable heads, so we'll go through them one by one. You get this one with a tongue out, and I know a lot of people were complaining that he never did this. Listen, Macho Man used to stick his tongue out all the time. I'm sure there was one point in his whole run in WCW when he was with the nWo, he stuck his tongue out, all right? So let's give it a rest, and people really complaining. This head scan looks awesome. If I only had one of these figures, I think this is the head I would use to display on the figure. Just so different, you know, from what we've gotten in the past. So I really do like it. You can see the black hair, sculpted hair piece. This is also, again, similar to Old Nation, but he did have the darker hair during his NWO run. Obviously, Macho in his earlier days had the brown hair, had more of a black tint to it later in his career. You also get this kind of straight face Macho Man figure, and this is a straight repaint from his last Old Nation figure. You can see the difference in the hair, the brown versus the black. Same scan. I really do like it. I think it looks nice. Just something different, so you can get different variations again with the hair itself. You also do get not one, but two cloth t-shirts, and I do like they included that. You get the Cage Madness shirt. Also looks so cool. And notice, this is the stretchy material. There is no Velcro in the back. I do like that way better. I feel like Mattel should be using these shirts more often just because they're just, I don't know, they're cool. I feel like they fit the figures a lot better and have this nice snug appearance to it. I do have a gripe with this. We'll get to that as we go on with the figure. We'll talk about it, but I know a lot of people did not like these little tassels here. This is pretty much, reused tooling from the most recent Legends figures that we got with the purple or pink Macho Man shirt where they had this kind of cut. I know it's not accurate, but it doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's kind of hard to really get these stringy tassels to sit down, but the shirt does look good. I do like the design on it. And now taking a close-up look at this figure right here. So he does have the removable bandana. And you can see it's got the madness on there. Love that print. Similar bandana sculpt to what we've seen on all the prior Macho Man figures. That does look nice. You do get a pair of removable sunglasses with the black and white design as well. Looks really good. Look on the back, if you guys can see that. Sorry, my big hands. Nothing painted on there. Here's the other head scan you get with Macho. It's more of the smiling scan. And yes, again, it is a repaint of the last Ultimate Edition figure. I feel like this is even coming on the New Generino Macho. I think we're getting this head and obviously the one without the tongue. This one again. So they have reused this head scan quite a few times. But it does look nice. I'm not going to complain. I really do like it. And you can see how the Madness shirt fits on him. I really do like it. This was like such an iconic look for me. Again, the shirt cuts here don't hang like it should, but it doesn't look that bad. I'll be honest, it really doesn't. I think that's very nitpicky. Take a look at the back. Madness design as well. And you'll notice the front, it does have the cut, so that's how you'll be able to tell between the front and the back of the shirt. You also do get this awesome weight belt, and look, there's a buckle on. I will say, getting this weight belt on wasn't hard, but you do have to really stretch it a little bit. It didn't fit the greatest, to be honest. It is a little bit of a tight fit, but it gets on there. So just be patient with it. At first, when I tried to put it on there, I was like, does this not fit? But you can see on the back, it has the Madness wording with the little fringes that are supposed to be on the back. Again, we've seen this a few times. The Wolfpack Macho Man has a similar belt, and so does the ringside exclusive black and white Macho Man. And you can see on his hands here, too. They do have that glove kind of painted mold. Same as the open hands here. So I do like that. I will say they're oddly shaped. They're not really C-grips. They kind of look a little more rounded. I don't know what's going on with these hands here, but they are just a little weirdly shaped. I don't know if they're trying to give it more of a glove look or what. But I will say that does look a little weird if I had to point that out. But let's go ahead and swap some parts out, because I'm sure everyone wants to see what the other heads look like on this figure. Let's throw the straight face scan on. They poured on really easy. Here's the other head. If you want to throw the bandana back on. I will say the bandana does look a little small from time to time on his head. You can see it doesn't really fill it. I feel like the Wolfpack Macho Man had more of a bigger bandana. It seemed to fit this newer kind of head mold a little better. You can see with the glasses and the bandana, this does kind of complete the look. But again, you have to really play with it. It doesn't sit the greatest. And you know what? I actually have a Wolfpack one. You can see the difference on the size. Let's throw it on his head. To me, this is probably the size it should have been, maybe. I know some people complain that they look like helmets, but this fits the head a little better. You can see the size difference. Let me get it off the figure, and you can compare it. I feel like the bigger bandana would have worked a little better for this figure, just pointing that out. But let's swap on. Let's get his glasses. And we'll swap on the other head. You know what? Let's go for it. Here, let me give you a tip on how to swap the shirts. So, Ultimate Edition, the arms do pop out. This one is a little snug. You'll be able to remove the arms from the sides here. Just be careful these fringes. You don't want to pull them out. Slide it right off. And you can grab your other shirt and just pull it right over. Make your life a lot easier. Very stretchy, very easy to put on. You get the other shirt. And we're going to talk about something once I get all these pieces back. Got the arms in. Oh, that side is a little snug. Got the other arm in. There's the other shirt. Let's bring back another head. We'll go with the tongue out because I am excited to see what this looks like on the figure. Pop it on. Let's get him looking all nice with a bandana. And we will bring back the glasses. I feel like if you heat this bandana, maybe it'll sit a little better just to widen it out. But I will point out that it doesn't quite sit the best, to be honest. But that is the other shirt on there. And here's what I wanted to talk about. If you can see on his arm, on his shoulders, very light on this side, there is a little staining. It is more prevalent on this side. You can see that black right here. My finger's pointing. There is a little black stain, so unfortunately these shirts are staining. I feel like the longer these ones are sitting on the shelf, you may have some issues where there is some staining on these figures the longer they sit. Personally, I'm going to be displaying him with the shirts. I am going to be grabbing more of these Machos. I only have one right now to display with different options. But unfortunately, it is going to stain. I know some people say to actually throw these figure t-shirts into the laundry and it's supposed to take out the dye. I have yet to try it. But I really love this Macho and I don't really want to have it all stained. So I may try it just to see if it works and then throw it on the figure. I don't know. I've never really thrown figure clothing in the laundry, but again, I've heard that over and over again, so maybe we'll give it a try. We'll see. But I did want to point out there is some light staining, and again, generally with these figures, the longer these shirts sit there and soak into the plastic, the darker the stains get over time, unfortunately. But that is the other shirt. Anyways, moving on with the figure, the one gripe obviously I'm pointing out is the staining, but taking a look at the rest of this figure, you can see the nice sculpting on the pants. He had those fringes when he was with the NWO. I really do like how that looks. I honestly, and here's one thing I want to point out, I am ready for the pinless legs. We've got them with the arms, double jointed pinless elbows, of course. Kind of a standard on most of the Mattel Ultimate figures. But the legs, I feel like it's time, because look at that, man. It's not that bad, but I feel like we've just come a long way. Why not just integrate it with the legs too? And, you know, kind of get that going. You can see on the other side the same thing. We get some new boots. So these are the basic Macho Man boots that we've seen over and over again. The laces on the front. You can see there are sculpted laces on the back. It's kind of hard to see, but they did have a new molded piece, and this looks way better. If you remember, all the Macho Man figures have that one tassel piece that kind of sits around. It was never accurate. They were only really in the back, and they kind of like were on the sides where they kind of fly out through. Now you can see the front of the boot. You can see the different molding and the sculpts on all that colors, and you got the fringes on the back. So that does look great. Kudos to Mattel on that. If you guys want to get a look at the design on the boots. Even the little trim on the bottom part looks great. I hope you guys are ready because it is comparison time, and I have quite a few different Macho Man figures I want to compare with this newest Ultimate Edition. But starting us off, we have the first Ultimate Edition Macho Man, the Series 8 figure. And it's funny that we are getting two Ultimate Edition Macho Man in the same year. Don't forget, we have the figure from the New Gen Arena. But again, this is the first one we received from Mattel. And I really did like this figure. I wanted to love it, but something about it, I don't know. I don't know if it's the attire, just didn't really speak to me. It wasn't quite as iconic as some other Macho Man attires that we've gotten over the years. But it is a good figure. You can see it really is the same figure, just kind of reused parts. Height-wise, they are the same. Even the boot mold is the same. You can see on the back, this has the laces. It's hard to see with these tassels, but that is the same mold on underneath. Similar heads. You can see the upgraded between the pinless and pinned arms that they had prior. All in all, this is a solid figure, the Series 8, but I think the newest one, it takes the cake for me. In our next set of comparisons, we have the Legend Series 11 Macho Man here on the left. And on the right, the very first Mattel figure I actually purchased, fun fact, was the Defining Moments Series 1 Macho Man. And you know what? With the newest Defining Moments Ultimate Warrior being redone in an Ultimate Edition, I'm sure this one is coming. Not a bold prediction. I'm sure a lot of us have predicted that, and I think it is a certainty. I think by 2023, that'll probably be announced, and I can't wait to see how that looks. Especially, I would love to see him have the shirt that he wrestled in underneath that with the Ultimate Articulation. Will look great. But you can see the Legends figure and the newest Ultimate do share the same pattern with that shirt, where this has the tears on the side, just like the Legends figure. Obviously, this one here, you can see, is a Velcro shirt. You can see how much better the stretchy shirts do fit. And if there's one gripe I really also had with this newest Ultimate Edition figure is the lack of hands. And how is it we get a Macho Man without a pointing finger? That's like sacrilegious at this point. I feel like that is a must, and I'm curious to see how the pointing finger looks like on the Ultimate Edition. That looks badass, man. Have him pointing to you or grabbing onto his belt like he used to. That is a must. So if you do have the Legends figure, that is definitely an option you can go with too. And moving along, we do have some WCW themed Macho Man figures. So on the left, we have the Bash at the Beach 3-pack where they have the face paint. And on the right, we have the Then, Now, and Forever Walmart exclusive Macho Man based on his later WCW run. And while I have every Elite Macho Man, I really want to focus more of these comparisons on his WCW days, as you can see with these two here. Here we have a few more WCW Macho Man. So on the left, we have the Elite 38 Macho and the San Diego Comic-Con Slim Jim exclusive Macho Man figure here on the right. Next up, we have the ringside exclusive nWo Wolfpack Macho Man compare versus the newest Ultimate Edition. And again, you can see we point out the difference on the size of the bandana. Let's remove the sunglasses off this figure so you can see the head scan. Wasn't too crazy about the scan when it was first released. Kind of odd looking, a little bigger. I think that's why they went with a bigger bandana, but I really do like this figure. You can see the difference with the tights. And again, point out the tassels. So most of the Macho Man figures had tassels that wrapped all the way around. You can see the difference with this new sculpted tassel. Really does take it to another level. And I do want to compare the weight belts. Let me open this shirt up. Don't do it too often, but you can see he's got the Madness in the red versus the silver on the newest Ultimate Edition. And finally, I'm sure this is the comparison all you guys have been waiting to see. So we bring in the Ringside Collectibles exclusive nWo Macho Man, highly sought after, very expensive on the secondary market. I'm sure that price is going to plunge with a new Ultimate Edition figure coming out. And it's crazy to think that we haven't really seen an nWo black and white Macho since this figure. I mean, there aren't any in the main Elite line. The only other nWo version we got was also Ringside Collectibles exclusive, was the nWo Macho Man, which we just showed in the prior video. But you can see the figures are kind of similar but different, and we're going to compare them in depth right now. So let's start off at the top. The bandanas are the same sculpt. The pattern seems to be the same. It does have the Madness logo. The glasses, you can see, have a different pattern. More cuts of black on with the white background versus the Ultimate Edition figure. And you can see the shirt. I know a lot of people were complaining, saying they wanted tassels that look like this on a cloth shirt. I don't know if it's possible. I'm sure Mattel will maybe figure that in time. That would be nice to have, because I didn't really care for it in plastic. You can see how over time they kind of bend the wrong way or something. You got to keep playing with it. But I will say on the plastic, the logo does look a lot nicer. It doesn't look as clear on the cloth. You can see how much more the white pops and covers the shirt versus the cloth. You can see the arms, obviously, a lot bigger with the Ringside Collectibles exclusive. The gloves are actually ones I added. I think these are Undertaker hands that I did a long time ago. He actually came with just the regular hand tape. And I just added the gloves for more of an effect. Personally, I like that look a little better. You can see the tights. He's got the stars on this one versus the plain black with the side tassels. Nothing on there for the Ringside Collectibles exclusive. Again, you can see the tassels on the front. Much better, if you ask me, on the Ultimate Edition. And if you guys wanted to see the weight belts, I will begrudgingly open this shirt because they are kind of a pain in the ass to close. But taking a look at the back, you can see how much smaller that logo is versus the New Madness logo. And I'm going to come back and try something real quick. In case you're wondering what the opposite shirts look like on the Elite and the Ultimate Edition, you can see you have the Ultimate Edition shirt on the Elite Ringside Collectibles exclusive and the Ringside shirt on the Ultimate. I will say the shirt does not really close on the side due to the bigger torso, and I don't really care for how the weight belt is covered. Never really liked that. If you remember Macho Man from this era, he always had the weight belt over the shirt. And for my last set of comparisons, how could I not bring in Hollywood Hogan when you talk NWO? So on the right, we have the Ringside Collectibles exclusive Wolfpack Hollywood Hogan. And my favorite figure of all time still, the Ultimate Edition Series 7 Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And before we wrap up here, I know this is a long one, but if you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. For you guys new to the channel, thank you so much for checking out this review. I hope you guys will subscribe and stick around for more reviews coming up down the road. As far as this nWo Macho Man figure goes, I absolutely love it. Listen, it's not perfect. There are a few gripes, which I'm going to point out. The bandana is a tad too small. Hopefully I can heat it and kind of play around with it and maybe stretch it out where it will sit a little better over his head. I'm kind of annoyed that this figure is staining. You know, it's 2022. You figured this would not be an issue, huh? A lot of these cloth shirts still stain from time to time. You know, AEW is still having the same issue with their figures. So it's not just Mattel, but again, I feel like the longer these guys sit on the shelves and the plastic or the cloth just sits on the plastic, it's going to bleed into it and it's just going to get worse over time. So that is an issue. If there's any other gripe I had, I wish he would have came with a few more interchangeable hands. These are the two sweet hands from the Ringside Hollywood figure. That would have been something cool. Maybe a pointing finger. I feel like that's what he's really missing. The pointing fingers, I feel like, are clutch with Macho. He should come with them every time he comes out with a figure. But other than that, I love it. To me, it's iconic. nWo Macho Man in the Madness gear. You get the extra articulation. You get the new molded tassels here. The molded boot tassels as well. No complaints. Do grab this figure. Again, it is a Target exclusive. That is the only place you're going to find it. You know, it may be a little tough to find now, but look at Batista. We all struggled to find him in the beginning because we're all impatient as collectors. Believe me, I'm the same way. When a new figure hits, I want it now. But look at Batista. Over time, he's shelf warming at most Targets still to this day. So he will be hitting stores shortly. If you guys haven't found it, I believe he will be plentiful. So just be patient. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one.